Hello, Mingalaba Dhamma class. My name is Hein Lang, and my Buddhist name is Sukha Bala, which means Flower of Happiness. Today, I'll be your presenter for part 1 of this Dhamma class. Today's Dhamma class is on June 7th, 2026. We meet every Sunday at 4 o'clock p.m., Arizona and Pacific time. Anyone interested in Buddhist teachings is welcome to join us on Zoom. Use the ID 413-460-4622 and the password Buddha20, all lowercase. Remember, the Zoom ID and password will stay the same every week. First, 3 individuals will chant the Buddha Gamana Gata, Diwa Tapati Gata, and Surya Gata. These chants will then be followed by Part 1A, Offerings, taking the Tisarana and 9 precepts, the Metta chant, and meditation. Part 1B, Aditana, determination, mindfulness on death, wishing, and sharing. And Part 2, Parita chanting, discussions, questions and answers, translations from the prayer book, and some kids reciting Pali prayers from the book. Today's substitute will be Tzincha. So Tzincha, please have your prayer books and the correct pages ready and close by. Before we begin, Jewel, can you please read our important rules and regulations?
1. If you're reading a substitution or participating in Part 1A, please try to join the Zoom meeting at least 5 minutes early. 2. Please do not eat or drink during the prayer time, as it is very disrespectful. If you're hungry, make sure to eat before joining the meeting next time. 3. Sit up straight and center yourself in front of your camera. Keep your camera on at all times or you may be removed from the meeting. If you're not a part of the mock class, you're free to turn off your camera. 4. Please don't fidget or play around, as it can disturb others who are praying. The prayer session is only 15 minutes, so please be mindful and respectful. 5. For those chanting, please chant clearly and slowly so that others can follow along. 6. We would greatly appreciate it if everyone stays respectfully until the end of the meeting.
Now, please put your hands together. We'll begin with Buddha Gamana Gata. We believe you'll do great.
Buddha Dhamma Gatha Angira Sasa Unaya Tathahi Sitaram Sio Wajirawa Virojanti Chinometatu Sisake Nilayo Nilatanama Pito Dadacha Lohita Dhamma Manjita Nikamim Supapasara Sadhu 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 for one time.
Tiwadapati Gada Tiwadapati Adicho Rati Mabadi Chandima Sanado Kadiyo Tapati Jayi Tapati Brahmano Adasaba Mahoradim Buddha Tapati Dejasa Tadisam Tejasampanam Buddham Wandami Sadaram Edena Sajawajena Sodi Mehotu Sabada Sodi Tehotu Sabada
Surya Namo Te Buddha Viratu Vipamutosi Sabati Sampada Patipanosmi Dasame Saranam Bhava Tatagatam Arahantam Suryo Saranam Gato Rahu Suryam Pamunjasu Buddha Lokanukam Paka Yo Andakare Tamasi Papam Karo Vero Gano Mandali ugadejo. Marahagi jara. Mandalike. Pajamamam. Rahu pamunja suriyam. Edena sajawajena. Soti mehotu sabada. Soti dehotu sabada. Nana sarapatintena dipe natamadam sina. Diloka dipam sambudam budayami tamonudam. Wanaganta gunupetam etam kusumasantatam budayami munendasa siri pada saroruhe. Adiwase do no bante, Pamiya Barikapidam, Anuklampa Ubadaya, Padigana do Uttama, Adiwase do no bante, Pujanam Barikapidam, Anuklampa Ubadaya, Padigana do Uttama. Valentine. Ogata, 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 Kayaga, Wazika, Manoga, Tapadota, Katinto, Apedogo, Piaupazeche, Ajona, Patama, Dudia, Dadia, Dajin, Najin, Tunjim Yaon, Paya Yadana, Daya Yadana, Tamga Yadana, Yadana Metumba Dogo, Ayo Ale, Ale Amya, Leso Muye, Shiko Puzo, Pumyo Nasho, Kadobai, Shimpia. Kedoyato, ajo, apeleba, katomba, yapesheba, yantomyongaba, vipatite yaleba, byatanate yangaba doma, akakanti, kenwonite pewe, madaya, poteya, nibanteya domyago, Labalo e Ashimpeya for one time. Ahambante Tisaranena Saha Nawanga Sampanagatam Uposata Silam Dhammam Yajami Anugaham Katawa Silam De Dhammebante Dutiyampi Ahambante Tisaranena Saha Nawanga Sampanagatam Uposata Silam Dhammam Yajami Anugaham Katawa Silam De Dhammebante Tatyampi Ahambante Tisaranena Saha Nawanga Sampanagatam Uposata Silam Dhammam Yajami Anugaham Katawa Silam De Dhammebante Amabante Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Tatiampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Tatiampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Amabante. Panatipada Viramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Adinadana Viramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Aramacharya Viramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Musawada Viramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Surameraya Majapamadatana Viramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Vikala Bhojana Viramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Najagita Vadita Visukadasana Malaganda Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusana Dana Viramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Ujasayana Mahasayana Viramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Metta Sahakatena Cetasa Sabapana Bhutesu Paritva Viharanam Samadhiyami. Amabande, one time.
Iti piso bhagawa araham sama sambuddho vijajarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro parisa dhamma sarati satta deva manusana buddho bhagawa.
Wakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Upanayiko Bhagata Moritabo Vinyuhi
Supatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangha Ujjapatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangha Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangha Samichipatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangha Yadidam Chattari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Bugala Esa Bhagavato Sawakasango Ahuneya Bahuneya Dakineya Angelikaraniya Anuttaram Punyaketam Lokasa Valentine.
Aham awerohumi, abhyapajohomi, anikohomi, sukhiyatanam priharami, mama mata pitu, acharyacha, yatimitacha, sabramacarinocha, awerohuntu, abhyapajahontu, anikahontu, sukhiyatanam priharantu. Amakam araka devata imasmim avasep imasmim arame araka devata avera hontu abhyapaja hontu anika hontu sukhiyatana pariharantu. Sabe sata sabe bana sabe bhuta sabe bhugala Sabe atava wa pariyapana. Saba itio. Sabe brisa. Sabe aria. Sabe anaria. Sabe dewa. Sabe manusa. Sabe winipatika. Avera hontu. Avya paza hontu. Aniga hontu. Suki atanam pariharantu. Dukkha mutantu. Yada lada sampatito ma vigatantu kamasaka.
Urati maya disaya, dakinaya disaya, pachimaya disaya, uttaraya disaya, purati maya anudisaya, dakinaya anudisaya, pachimaya anudisaya, uttaraya anudisaya, Heti Maya Disaya, Upari Maya Disaya.
Sabe Sata, Sabe Pana, Sabe Buddha, Sabe Bugala, Sabe Attabawa, Pariyapana, Saba Itio, Sabe Purisa, Sabe Arya, Sabe Anaria, Sabe Dewa, Sabe Manusa, Sabe Winipatika, Awira Hontu, Abya paja hontu, aniga hontu, suki atanam pariharantu, dukkha munchantu, yada lada sampatito wa viganchantu, kamasaka.
Udam yawa pawagacha. Ado yawa awijito. Samanta chakawalesu ye sata patavichara. Abhya pajani veraja nidukaja nupadawa. Udam yawa bawagaja ado yawa awijito. Samanta chakawalesu ye sata udake jara. Abhya bhajani viraja nidukaja nupadawa. Udam yawa bawagaja ado yawa awijito. Samanta chakawalesu ye sata akase jara. Abhya bhajani viraja nidukaja nupadawa. Sadhu, 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 but one time.
Now we will learn how to meditate by Chloe, May Cindy, Amara, Shintan, and the Zenja.
What is meditation? Meditation is a way to keep the mind cool and calm by concentrating on one object. There are many ways to meditate. In our Dhamma class, primarily we study Anapanasati and body scanning meditation. In Anapanasati, a natural focus is your own breath, which is always with you. If you simply keep feeling the breath as it comes in and as it goes out, the mind gets quieter and more peaceful. In body scanning meditation, you scan your whole body from head to toe, from the front and the back. The only trouble is, something will always take your attention away. Maybe a noise or a pain in the knee, but often your mind is the own problem. It is so full of useless stuff. Like a monkey jumping here and there, it is so hard to control. To become the master of your mind, you need some lessons, enough time, and a good place to learn how to practice. With enough practice, meditation helps to replace bad thoughts and feelings with happy ones.
Why do we meditate? By learning how to control the mind, we start to get rid of negative habits and develop good mental qualities instead. If your mind is cool, you make good decisions, you don't get confused, you make less mistakes, you don't get angry or feel afraid, and you become more confident. If your mind is calm, you become more peaceful and happy. You become peaceful and happy, you're less worried and frustrated. You don't get stressed about work or exams, you develop compassion and kindness, and you have more harmonious relationships. If your mind is concentrated, you get less distracted by useless things, you find it easier to focus and learn, you perform better in sports and games, you make better music and art, and you'll be more trustworthy.
What is the difference between samatha and vipassana? Samatha meditation and vipassana meditation are two different types of meditation. Samatha aims at achieving deep concentration, while vipassana aims at understanding both the body and the mind. In samatha meditation, the focus is solely on one object to attain deep concentration, such as by fixing the mind on a single point. In contrast, vipassana meditation involves observing various mental and physical processes as they occur. During samatha meditation, when the mind wanders, we bring it back to the chosen object. However, in vipassana meditation, when the mind wanders, we observe it without trying to control it. Only when the distraction fades do we return our focus to the primary object. These differences in focus and approach distinguish the two types of meditation.
Now we are going to practice guided muscle relaxation meditation. Before we begin, please straighten your body, center yourself in the middle of your camera, put your hands together with the right on top of the left with your thumbs connected, and place them in your lap. Then close your eyes. Step 1. When I say a group of muscle, focus on the group of muscles you hear and feel the tenseness in them. Step 2. Mentally relax those group of muscles. Step 3. Feel those muscles completely relaxed. Let's start. Your scalp muscles. All the muscles on your head are relaxed. Your forehead and eyebrows are relaxed. Your eyes, ears, nose, lips, and chin are relaxed. Your neck and shoulders are relaxed. Your arms, forearms, wrists, hands, and fingers are relaxed. Your chest and upper back are relaxed. Your abdomen and lower back are relaxed. Your hips and thighs are relaxed. Your knees and legs are relaxed. Your ankles, feet, and toes are relaxed. Now your whole body from head to toe fully relaxed.
We are going to advance to Anapanasati meditation. You are going to focus on your breath. When you breathe in, a puff of air touches the tip of your nose. Make yourself aware of the touch. When you breathe out, a slightly warmer puff of air touches the tip of your nose. Make yourself aware of the touch. We are first going to practice counting technique with each cycle of in-breath and out-breath. You will count from 1 to 8, and do not let your mind wander. If your mind wanders out, start counting from number 1 again. We are first going to practice together. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 1. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 2. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 3. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 4. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 5. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 6. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 7. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 8. Now go back to 1 and start counting on your own. We are now done meditating.
Dukkha pataja ni dukkha, baya pataja ni baya, soka pataja ni soka, hotu sabe bipanino.
Nahi vevani samanti da kuda chanem arena cha samanti esa tamo sanantano. Sababa basa akaranam kusalasa supasampada sajita pariyodapanam etam buddhanasa sasanam.
Mauname tuam, jivitame atuam, idame ponyam, nibanasa pachayo hontu, imam punya pagam, sabasatanam, pajema, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
It is now part 2 of the Dhamma class, and again, please do not eat anything. However, drinking water is now fine. So we will be starting off with program number 1, which is chant of Mahajaya Mangala Gada by Madang, Thizindro, Linlin, Swizin, Sumyape, Julia, Myanon, Wayan, Shinta, Masondy, Chloe, and Victoria.
Mahajaya Mangala Gatha Bahum Sahasa Mapinimita Sayudadam Giri Megalam Udita Goram Sasana Maram Dana Didama Widina Jitawa Muninda Damde Dasa Bawandute Jaya Mangalani.
Maratireka mabiyujita sabaratim goram panalawaka makamatadayakam kanti sudanta widina jitawa munendo tam tejasa bawatu te jaya mangalani.
Nalakirim Kajawaram Ate Mataputam Dawaki Jakamasanewa Sutarunantam Matampu Saka Vidina Jitawa Munendo Tam Tejasa Bhavatu Jaya Mangalani Ukita Gaga Mabiyata Sudarunandam Dawam Diojana Patan Guli Malawandam Idibi Sankata Mano Jitawa Munendo Tam Tejasa Bhavatu Jaya Mangalani Katwana Kata Mudaram Gaviniya Chinjaya Duda Wajanam Janakaya Maje Sandena Soma Vidina Jitawa Munindo Tam Tejasa Bhavatu Jaya Mangalani
Sajam Vihaya Adi Sajagha Vada Ketum Vada Biro Bidanam Adi Anda Buddham Panyabadi Pajalito Jitawa Munindo Tante Jasa Bhavatu Jaya Mangalani
Dewa
Lento Pananta Bujagam Vividam Mahidam Bhutena Deva Bujagena Dhamma Payento Itu Pate Savidina Chita Wa Munendo Tente Jasa Bhagavatu Jaya Mangalani
Sugaha Titi Pujagena Sadatahatam Brahman Visuddhi Judy Midi Bhakabhidanam Jnanagadena Vidinam Jitawa Munendo Tam Tejasa Bhavatu Jaya Mangalani
Etampi Buddha Jaya Mangalani Atagata Yoa Jago Dina Dine Sarate Matandi Hidwana Neka Vividani Chupadavani Mokam Sukam Adigameya Narosapanyo Sadhu 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 but one time.
Dewa Tapati Kata Dewa Tapati Adicho Rati Mabati Chandima Sanato Katiya Tapati Jaye Tapati Brahmano Atta Sapa Mahoratim Buddha Tapati Tejasa Tatisam Tejasampanam Buddham Vandami Sadaram Edena Sajawajena Sati me hotu sabada Sati te hotu sabada Sadhu 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 one time.
Sambuddhe Gata, Sambuddhe Atavi Sanja, Dwada Sanja Sahasake, Panchasata Sahasani, Namami Sirasamaham, Apakavaluka Ganga, Ananta Nibuddha Jina, Desam Damancha Sankancha, Adarena Namamaham, Namakara Nubhavena Hitva Sabe Ubadave Aneka Antarayapi Vinasantu Ase Sato Satu 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 Valentine.
We're now moving on to part number 2, which is Answer the Questions from Buddhism for Kids by Rebecca and Cynthia.
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Rebecca, and my Buddhist name is Metta Bali, which means keep our loving kindness. For today's program, my sister Cynthia will be joining me, so can you please introduce yourself? Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Cynthia, and my Buddhist name is Magga Bali, which means keep it a middle path. And the individuals I'll be asking today are Danzim, Lasanda, Wei Yan, Miano, Julia, May Cindy, Lin, Noel, William, Alexander, Shuizin, Diri-san, Jewel, Shinta, Dewa, and Lyra. We'll be asking questions from Buddhism for Kids, so please have your book ready. Dunzin, what are the 3 jewels in Buddhism?
They are the Buddha, the Dhamma teachings, and the Sangha community.
That is correct, thank you. Lasanda, is the Buddha a god?
No, the Buddha was a human being who became enlightened.
That is correct, thank you. Wei Yan, what did the Buddha teach people to do?
He taught people to take responsibility for their good, all actions.
That is correct, thank you. Miano, does Buddhism have a Bible?
No, instead it has many holy books called Tipitaka, 3 baskets, or Nikaya, 5 collections.
That is correct, thank you. Julia, what are the 3 jewels in Buddhism?
They are the Buddha, the Dhamma teachings, and the Sangha community.
That is correct, thank you. May Cindy, is the Buddha a god?
No, the Buddha was a human being who became enlightened.
That is correct, thank you. Lin, what did the Buddha teach people to do?
He taught people to take responsibility for their own actions.
That is correct, thank you. Noel, does Buddhism have a Bible?
No, instead it has many holy books called the Tipitaka, 3 baskets of Pancha Nikaya, 5 collections.
That is correct, thank you. William, what are the 3 jewels in Buddhism?
They are the Buddha, the Dhamma teachings, and the Sangha community.
That is correct. Alexander, is the Buddha a god?
No, the Buddha was a human being who became enlightened.
That is correct. Shuizin, what did the Buddha teach people to do?
He taught people to take responsibility for their own actions.
That is correct. Diri-san, does Buddhism have a Bible?
No, instead it has many holy books called the Tipitaka, 3 baskets, or Nikaya, 5 collections.
That is correct. Jewel, what are the 3 jewels in Buddhism?
They are the Buddha, the Dhamma teachings, and the Sangha community.
That is correct. Shinta, is the Buddha a god?
No, the Buddha was a human being who became enlightened.
That is correct. Dewa, what did the Buddha teach people to do?
He taught people to take responsibility for their own actions.
That is correct. Lyra, does Buddhism have a Bible?
No. Instead, it has many holy books called the Tipitaka,
3 baskets, or Panja Nikaya 5 collections.
That is correct. That is all for our program. Thank you for listening and participating.
We're now moving on to program number 3, which is answer the questions from Poly Pathways by Zinjo and Hila.
Hello, Minglaba Dhamma class. My name is Cho and my Buddhist name is Janapali, which means power of concentration. Today, me and a Dhamma friend will be asking some questions. So Hina, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Minglaba. My name is Hain Long, and my Buddhist name is Sukapala, which means power of happiness.
I'll be asking the first group of questions to Lyra, Linta, Thing, Julia, Sandy, Meta U, Alinte, and Shinki. Everyone, please be ready and prepared. Lyra, what does the Pali word upo seta mean?
The literal meaning is observance or fasting. Also, it means special days.
That is correct. Linta, how often does upo seta occur?
4 times a lunar month, on a full moon, new moon, 8th waning, and 8th waxing days.
That is correct. Thing, what do we do on upo seta days?
We meditate or reflect on the 8 or 9 precepts.
That is correct. Julia, how can you find upo seta days?
By checking a lunar calendar or asking someone who can read it.
That is correct. Sandy, what does the Pali word upo seta mean?
The literal meaning is observance or fasting. Also, it means special days.
That is correct. Meta U, how often does upo seta occur?
4 times a lunar month, one on the full moon, new moon, 8th waning, and 8th waxing days.
That is correct. Thank you. Onlente, what do we do on upo seta days?
We meditate or reflect on the 8 or 9 precepts.
That is correct. And Shinki, how can you find upo seta days?
By checking a lunar calendar or asking someone who can read it.
That is correct. Hina, could you please ask the next group of questions?
Benji, what does the Pali word uposathat mean?
The literal meaning is observance or fasting. Also, it means special days.
That is correct. Matane, how often does uposathat occur?
4 times a lunar month, on a full moon, new moon, 8th waning, and 8th waxing days.
That is correct. Cindy, what can we do on uposathat days?
We meditate or reflect on the 8 or 9 precepts.
That is correct. Henry, how can you find uposathat days?
By checking a lunar calendar or asking someone who can read it.
That is correct. Noel, what does the Pali word uposathat mean?
The literal meaning is observant or fasting, also meaning special days.
That is correct. Diri-san, how often does uposathat occur?
4 times a lunar month, on the full moon, new moon, 8th waning, and 8th waxing days.
That is correct. Nyanbontet, what can we do on uposathat days?
We meditate or reflect on the 8 or 9 precepts.
That is correct. Lastly, Xinglang, how can you find uposathat days?
By checking a lunar calendar or asking someone who can read it.
That is correct.
That is all, and thank you for listening.
We're now moving on to program number 4, which is presentations on Buddhism. First by Chloe, Lucinda, Mason, D, and Julia, then by Emera, Methane, Snowy, then by Swizzen, Alentane, Thunzin, and then by Simya Pitt and Alexander.
Hello, Manglaba. My name is Chloe Cheng, and my Buddhist name is Titi Bali, which means keeper of wisdom. I live in Chino Hills, California. So today, my three dear Dhamma friends will be joining me. So Lasunda, please introduce yourself.
Hello, Manglaba. My name is Lasunda, and my Buddhist name is Janta Bali, which means Cooper Boone Smart, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. So, Miss Indy, please introduce yourself.
Hello, Minglaba. My name is Mason D. My Buddha name is Loka Pali, which means Guardian of the Road, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. So, Julia, please introduce yourself.
Hello, Minglaba. My name is Julia. My Buddhist name is Bera Bali, which means keeper of wisdom, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. So, Chloe, what will we be talking about today?
We will be talking about anicca, so I'll go first. Please listen carefully because we will be asking some questions at the end. What is anicca? Anicca means impermanence or things always changing. It's an important idea in Buddhism that helps us understand suffering, dukkha, and the concept of no self, anatta.
Everything that comes into being will eventually fade away. This includes all living things, thoughts, and feelings. Because everything is changing, nothing can truly last forever.
The law of cause and effect, karma, shows us that everything exists because of previous causes and will lead to new effects. Suffering comes from not from change itself, but from trying to hold on to things we wish would stay the same.
The Buddha's last words remind us all things are subject to change, so keep working hard to be free from suffering. Now we'll be asking questions, so Chloe, can you please ask the first question?
So my first question is to Teresa, and it is, what does anicca mean?
Anicca means impermanence or the idea that everything is always changing.
Yes, that is correct. So Lasanda, please ask your next question.
So my next question is to Manu. Why is anicca important in Buddhism?
Anicca helps us understand suffering and the ideas that nothing lasts forever.
That's correct. So Miss Lee, please ask your next question.
My next question is to Teresa again. To Teresa, what happens to everything because of anicca? Everything that comes into being will eventually fade away, including living things, thoughts, and feelings. Yes, that's correct. So, Julia, please ask your last question.
My last question is to Mietno. So, Mietno, what did the Buddha say about change?
Buddha said all things are subject to change and we should keep working to be free from suffering.
Yes, that is correct. Thank you for watching and listening.
Thank you for listening and watching.
Thank you for watching.
It is now Emera, Methane, and Snowy's turn.
Hello, Minglaba. My name is Amar, and my Buddha's name is Amata Bali, which means keeper of deathlessness. Today, my two dear Dhamma friends will be joining me. So, Martin, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Mangalaba. My name is Martin Busnamehita Bali, which means good keeper, in Lubbock, Texas. So, Snowy, please introduce yourself.
Hello, Mingalaba. My name is Snowy, and my Buddhist name is Vimala Bali, meaning the keeper of purity. And I live in Austin, Texas. Amara, what are we going to be talking about today?
Today, we'll be talking about what is anatta. Anatta means no soul or no self. It's a key teaching of the Buddha that sets Buddhism apart from other religions, but it's often misunderstood.
In Buddhism, there is an internal core self that controls everything. Instead, everything is constantly changing. There's no separate doer behind our actions.
We are made up of 5 parts: body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. These parts work together to create our experience of I or myself, but there's no fixed essence behind them. So, Amara, can you please ask the first question?
My first question is to Ting Ting. Ting Ting, what are the 5 parts we are made up of?
Body, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness.
That is correct. Martin, can you please ask the next question?
So, Ryan, these five parts work together to create what experience?
They create the experience I or myself, but there no face, the essence behind it.
That is correct. So, Snowy, please ask your first question.
Same thing. According to Buddhism, is there an eternal core self?
In Buddhism, there is an eternal core self that controls everything.
That is correct. So, Amara, can you please ask the last question?
Wait, what does anatta mean?
It means no soul or no self.
That is correct, and thank you for watching and listening.
Thank you for listening.
It is now Susan, Alante, and Dunstan's turn.
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Susan, and my Buddhist name is Wansap Bali, which means keeper of relatives. Joining me today is my dear Dhamma friend Alinte and my dear brother Denson. So, Alinte, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Alante. My Buddhist name is Riabala, which means great keeper. And Tenzin, introduce yourself.
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Dan, and my Buddhist name is Satipala, which means the power of courage. So, Swayzen, what are we going to be sharing today?
We're going to be talking about Dhamma. Everyone, please listen carefully because in the end, we'll be asking questions. Dhamma is a Pali word that means action or doing. It's what we choose to do on purpose in our thoughts, words, and actions. If something happens by accident, it's not Dhamma, because Dhamma is about choice.
The Buddha said volition, the way to act, is Dhamma. Buddhas and Arahants act without attachments, so their actions don't create Dhamma. The mind is the most important part. Our thoughts guide our words and actions.
A careless mind makes careless actions. A kind mind makes kind actions. Karma isn't just about the past, it's also what we do right now. Our present comes from the past, and our future comes from the present.
We can always change. Someone doing wrong today can choose to do right tomorrow. Parents often say, be good and you'll be happy. Do wrong and you will be unhappy.
In short, karma is cause and effect. Good brings good, bad brings bad. What we choose to do truly matters. And Susan, ask your first question.
My question is to Linlin, and it is, what does Dhamma mean?
It means our actions, what we choose to think, say, and do on purpose.
That is correct. So, Denson, can you please ask your question?
My question is to Victoria, and it is, does karma happen by accident?
No, karma is only from choices we make on purpose.
That is correct. So, Alante, can you please ask your next question?
My first question is to Lillian. Lillian, why is the mind important in karma?
Our thoughts guide our words and actions.
That is correct. And Susan, ask the last question.
My last question is to Victoria, and it is, how does Dhamma work?
Good actions bring good results, bad actions bring bad results.
That is correct. That is all, and thank you for listening.
It is now Sumya Pit and Alexander's turn.
Hello everyone, my name is Sumya Pe. My Buddhist name is Chitta Bali, which means the regarder of mind. Today I'll be joined by my dear Dhamma friend, Alexander. So Alexander, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Alexander, and my Buddhist name is Ujjwala, which is power of honesty. So, Simepe, what will we be talking about today?
Today we'll be talking about the story of the Galamas, but before we begin, we'll be asking questions in the end, so please listen carefully. Once upon a time, a group of people called the Galamas were very confused. They had heard many different teachings from various teachers and didn't know which one to believe. So they went to the Buddha for advice.
Buddha told them it's okay to feel confused and have doubts. Sometimes life can be tricky, and it's normal to question things. He then warned them to not believe everything they hear just because it comes from tradition, is written in books, or is said by someone who seems smart or important. Even if a teacher says something, that doesn't mean you have to accept it right away.
Instead, Buddha told the Galamas to trust themselves. He said, if you see something that is harmful,
causes suffering, or is criticized by wise people, then you should stay away from it. Don't just follow others, decide for yourself what is right and good.
And so the Kalamas did learn to think for themselves and made wise choices, just as Buddha had advised them. We will now be asking questions, so Simepe, please ask the first question.
My first question is to Emerald. Why were the Kalamas confused?
They heard many different they heard many different teachings from various teachers and they didn't know which one to believe.
That is correct, thank you. So Alexander, please ask the next question.
My first question, the Xingling, and is how did the Buddha reassure the Kalamas?
The Buddha said that life can be tricky and it is normal to question things.
That is correct. So Simepe, please ask your last question.
My last question is what do the Buddhas learn, or what do the Kalamas learn from Buddha's advice?
They learn to think for themselves and make the wisest decision.
That is correct, thank you. So Alexander, please ask the last question.
The final question is the Xingling, and it is what did the Buddha warn them about?
Not believe everything just they hear.
That is correct. Thank you for listening.
We're now moving on to program number 5, which is choose the correct sound out of the given answers by Hank and Himo.
My name is Hank. I'm Buddhist.
Hi, my name is Hima. My Buddhist name is Hima Bali, which means peacekeeper. Today I'll be joined by my brother, so can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Hank. My Buddhist name is Bala, which means the power of knowledge. Today we'll be asking questions to the individuals Alante, Miet No, Emerald, Heyman, Myo, Henry, Keishing, Sandy, Kamapali, Yambuntet, Lintet, Weiyan, Metau, Chloe, Martin, William, Snowy, and Lysanda.
So to start off, Alingte, who is the Buddha?
The Buddha is a wise teacher who showed the way to end suffering.
That is correct. Miet No, what does it mean to take refuge in the Buddha?
It means we trust the Buddha as our guide.
That is correct. Emerald, what is the Dhamma?
The Dhamma is the Buddha's teaching that helps us live a good life.
That is correct. Heyman, why do we take refuge in the Tisarana?
Because they help us find true happiness and peace.
That is correct. Myo, who is the Buddha? Well, the Buddha is a wise teacher who showed us the way to end suffering. Henry, what does it mean to take refuge in the Buddha?
It means we trust the Buddha as our guide.
That is correct. Kishin, what is the Dhamma?
The Dhamma is the Buddha's teaching that helps us live a good life.
That is correct. Sandy, why do we take refuge in the Tisarana?
Because they help us find true happiness and peace.
That is correct. Kamapali, who is the Buddha?
The Buddha is a wise teacher who showed the way to end suffering.
That is correct.
Nyambuntet, what does it mean to take refuge in the Buddha?
It means we trust the Buddha as our guide.
And that is correct. Lintan, what is the Dhamma?
The Dhamma is the Buddha's teaching that help us live a good life.
And that is correct. Weiyan, why do we take refuge in the Tisarana?
Because they help us find true happiness and peace.
And that is correct. Metau, who is the Buddha?
The Buddha is a wise teacher who showed the way to end suffering.
And that's correct. Chloe, what does it mean to take refuge in the Buddha?
We trust the Buddha as our guide.
And that is correct. Martin, what is the Dhamma?
The Dhamma is a Buddha teaching that help us live a good life.
That's correct. William, why do we take refuge in the Tisarana?
Because they help us find true happiness and peace.
That's correct. Chloe, who is the Buddha?
The Buddha is a wise teacher who showed the way to end suffering.
You're correct. Lasanda, what does it mean to take refuge in the Buddha?
Can you say that again?
The question was, what does it mean to take refuge in the Buddha?
It means we trust the Buddha as our guide.
And that is correct.
Thank you for listening.
We are now at the end of the Dhamma class, so everyone please put your hands together and recite Buddha Sasanam Chiram Tetatu 3 times. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Tetatu. May the Buddha's teachings last long. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Tetatu. May the Buddha's teachings last long. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Tetatu. May the Buddha's teachings last long. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That is all. Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Bye.